Here's a demonstration on all the different ways to format our different numbers so that they come out looking cleaner than if we just left a huge gap of decimal places. So there are 4 different ways to convert them. There is the currency format, which puts a dollar sign in front and has 2 zeros, or how many zeros we tell it to have, as you'll see. There's the number format, which converts it to a clean number and gives us how many decimal places we want. Fixed point works the exact same way, but does not include a thousands separator. So we'll take a look at that. And then there's the percent one, which moves the decimal place over 2, so it'd be over 2 to the right, and then puts the percent sign in, and then gives us what we want. So we're going to take a look at this from a calculation standpoint. I have dim x is double, dim y is double, and dim z is double. So back to dims. We've already done our eating, which we've looked at before. Our digestion is still going to perform a simple calculation, which is going to be z, and this time I'm going to use x times y. So I'm going to use multiplication, which is the asterisk symbol above the number 8, which we'll talk about when we do math. It's our output area, better known as pooping with our examples, that is going to significantly change. So output to all areas. So we're going to be using the z variable a lot in this process. So the first place we're going to output it is to, real simply, the answer label, so that we can see what our number looks like in raw form. Answer label.text equals z. That's great. Now, I started naming these. I have the currency label. I then want to name these labels appropriately as well. So because I named that one currency label, I'm going to name this one number label. I'm going to call this one just simply fixed label. Don't want hyphens in naming. And then we're going to name this one the percent label. Name it the percent label. So now we're going to be putting the z answer to all the different kinds of labels. So what we're going to do here is we're going to follow the exact same format, but if you noticed right here, it's going to have, when we go on the other side of the equal sign, it's going to be equal the variable name, so it'll be z, dot to string, and that includes these different parameters. Each one's represented by a letter, C for currency, N for number, F for fixed point, and P for percent. And then the hashtag, or octothorpe, which is its technical name, after represents how many decimal place numbers we want to be in there. So we'll take a look at this a couple times through a couple calculations. So we'll do the currency label first. So currency label dot text, that remains the same, equals z dot to string. Then we have to do quotations around this because it is working with string. We're just going to give it the traditional 2 decimal places. We'll go through our other 3 real quick. Number label. So number label dot text equals z dot to string. And this time we're going to give this one 4 decimal places, because we can do that. It's our fixed point label coming up next. Now this one's the only one that did not come with a demonstration, so let's take a look how this works. Z dot to string. If I do a 3, still likes it, so it should work the exact same way. And then our percent label. will be %label dot text equals z dot toString p, and we'll do 2. Keep it simple. Actually, we'll do p0 first. So let's go ahead. Remember, our numbers are going to multiply here in their doubles. So let's go take a look at what happens here. So variable x, I'm going to make 5.6789, and we'll make this one 1.2345. When I hit the calculate button, all of these areas are going to fill in. So our original number is 7.01060205. So if we go down to currency, it did some rounding for us. So the currency format, it put the $sign in, and it rounded that last decimal place to the 1, because 0 to 1 is 1. Number format, it kept everything the same, but again went out to the 4th decimal place. And again, because the end number is 0, it did the rounding for us. It kept it pretty simple. The fixed point does show us the rounding working, because notice how this one's 0.6. Because that's a 6, it would bump it up to a 1. So in the fixed point, looks just like the number 7.011 though, instead of 0.6. And then percentage-wise, remember, it moves the decimal place over 2 to the right. So right now it's 701%. If I put a number instead of 0 in the percentages, then it would have correctly given us some decimal places that followed the same pattern as these. We'll do one other demonstration. I'm going to just change the numbers so that they're a little bit higher, and that forces some more rounding here. And if you take a second to look at that again, we have 55.3392. It again did appropriate rounding and worked with the numbers correctly. It will always, here's the catch with like how I had the number format out to 4 decimals. Let's say I put in 2 whole numbers. It's still going to give us what we asked for. So in this instance, it's going to give us 4 zeros, or it's going to give us 3 zeros here. That's number formatting, and I set it up like this so you always have a consistent tool to look at to refer to this.